Hey everyone. Hopefully you all can hear us as you come pouring in. It's an emergency breaking news alert from Banner and Backbone and Sick of This Shit with Nick and AT4 with Jacob is um, Charlie Kirk was just shot a little while ago. He is, from the reporting, he is not dead. He has been brought to a hospital. He was shot at the Utah Valley University in what appears to be Minnesota. The University of Minnesota has a Utah Valley University chapter of Turning Point USA. Um, University of Minnesota at Northrop described it as a high energy of the evening featuring a candid conversation about conservative values. And Charlie Kirk has been shot. He is the only person who has been shot at the event. Um, and why I'm talking about this, why I brought Jacob on to talk about this, why we switched over um, from his Jacob's live to this one was I wanted to make sure the largest audience that I had could get it out, as well as ensure that Jacob's audience is part of this because Jacob is a friend and part of our Banner and Backbone community overall. And we need to get ahead of what's going on because there's going to be a lot of misinformation, disinformation. There's going to be a lot of propaganda that is coming out of this. And we need to not encourage Charlie Kirk's death. I'm going to say that again is we need to not encourage Charlie Kirk's death. We do not want Charlie Kirk to die. I do not want Charlie Kirk to die, partially because he's a human and I don't want humans to die. I don't want other human beings to die for no fucking reason. And this would be for no fucking reason other than to possibly start a civil war or crack down on freedoms and escalate tensions and institute martial law or get rid of the Posse Comitatus Act through the Insurrection Act and do things like that because they're going to spin it. The administration is going to spin this as greedily and as terribly as possible to the most extreme. And we have to be prepared for that. And you have to combat that by calming the situation and reminding people that you don't want Charlie Kirk dead. You hope he lives through this. I hope he lives through this. I hope whoever shot Charlie Kirk gets justice for shooting Kirk. And yes, PJ, that's exactly what it's going to do is it's going to foster shutdowns, is it's going to push the extremes even further in this country. And Jacob, I want to get your opinions on what you've been hearing from me and what you've been seeing and reading in the chat and that we're discussing is what do you think about what just happened?
Oh, well, first off, the audio is still cutting out a little bit, but I can hear everything you're saying. But I'm going to try not to cut in or talk over as much as possible so that I can maintain being able to hear what you're saying. Um, Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but it is interesting that all of a sudden our audio quality dropped as soon as we swapped lines to talk about this. So,
Yeah, interesting.
um, yeah, so as somebody said just now, brain of Jayhawk, there is no tolerance for bullets flying at anyone, regardless of political views. So first off, it is extremely important not to openly root for this. I understand the emotional reaction. This is how we closed out my life. Is I understand the emotional reaction. I understand, like, hey, one more gone, but that's not the way democracy works. We don't
Yes.
want to just simply eliminate our political opponents because that is the tool of the oppressor and that is the tool of the people that we are fighting against. Furthermore, it means that they don't have to actually answer for any of their actual crimes or moral crimes that they've done wrong. I want them to actually have to stand before Congress, before Senate, before a judge and answer for what they've done. I want them to stand before the American people and answer for what they've done. I do not want him killed. I do not want him shot. The other thing about this is that other than a rallying cry of polarization, as we've talked about, just on the surface that he's been shot regardless of fear, what I am what I am loathing finding out about, and I do it with every single one of these stories and drops, is I am waiting for the other shoe to drop. I am waiting for them to try and identify the shooter as somebody of the other party of, or like they did with they tried to make it a big deal about the shooter being trans last week or the week before that. Even though it wasn't, even though he was clear, even though they were clearly known to have been a very right wing despite having been trans, doesn't mean that they won't pin it on that. And if they can even put a modicum of doubt, speculation, or that idea in people's heads, then that's what they're going to jump on. Not only was it an active aggression against one party, but it's an active aggression against one party by the other party and by a perceived marginalized community, which gives people all the justification they need to storm the streets and take revenge or vengeance themselves against said marginalized parties.
Yeah, not only that is we're also dealing with a religious fundamentalist cult, an extremist cult that is going to use this as a death cult signal. Like that's what they want. They need a demon. Whoever shot Charlie Kirk is going to be demonized, is going to be like literal demonization so that they can find a bad guy and a reason to crack down on our rights, on our movement, on our voice. The one thing that we have not had done yet is the Insurrection Act has not been invoked
Yes.
yet. And I'm keeping up on the news and I'm going to continue to watch what's coming out of this. And we're probably not going to report on it for like forever right now, but I want to get immediate reactions and get information. And it doesn't matter who the person was that shot Charlie Kirk. They're going to get demonized in some way. They're going to find a way, find a piece of information about this individual that links them to something they can demonize. Just like the last person who shot two kids at a church who were praying at their church school or their school church or whatever it was. Those two kids who died and those others who got injured, that person, they were like, they glued onto the thing that was they were trans. That is a loose association of things. That person was mentally ill in other ways that are not associated with identifying who they are as a person. Like personhood is not a mental illness. Like they were not mentally ill because they were trans. They were mentally ill because they had a mental illness. And that person used that mental illness and then killed kids with it. But the right used it to say trans people are demons and we're going to stop the trans terrorists from having guns. Well, what do you think the next step is supposed to be? If the kids didn't get our attention and didn't spark something big enough, what's the next escalation that might is a leading political figure on one of the sides is going to have an assassination attempt done against them?
Well,
Well, we
and
just saw what happens when that happens is somebody this is going to be framed either as a terrorist attack or an assassination attempt by the FBI or the CIA immediately if they have not already done so.
and
Like
that was
that
the
is their MO when it is for a Republican who gets shot.
and that is the other thing that while I understand the sentiment behind the person who said that the shooter should be demonized. There's a multifold issue with that, in my opinion. First off, by demonizing them without knowing who or what they belong to first, yes, they should be held guilty regardless. But I would hold your guns on the demonization thing because the demonization thing can be used as a double-edged sword. Yeah, they should be found guilty of what they did, but they should not be used as a scapegoat for gun control or as the second part I was going into, a distraction. And that distraction is twofold. First off, as with every serial killer and mass shooter that we encounter, we end up knowing the name of the shooter or the serial killer, but very few people know the names of the victims. So we don't need to go into that whole part. The other part of distraction is what somebody just said, which is that pay attention to when this is fucking happening right now. We are in the midst of actually getting more and more like meaty Epstein Epstein updates right now, and then this happens. So while I do believe that, yeah, I'm sorry about that, PK. That's the way that Nick sounds on my end right now too. But while I do believe that we need to hold this person accountable, we also need to not let it distract from what's going on right now. So, and that
Yes.
is all of the Epstein updates. That's the Russia and Poland, that's the sweeping cuts that are being made to the CDC and Health and Human Services. Like that, even if it's real, it's going to be spun as a distraction. And I would put dollars to donuts that it was not entirely real. That yes, bullets were fired, but that it was either premeditated or staged in some form or another. So
Yep. And I'm not going to go on X to figure it out and see what they're saying, but I'm trying to keep up as best I can. Ooh, BBC has reporting. They might have something that is. So it look from reporting from a witness, live reporting, the shot came straight at him, which most likely means this was targeted at Charlie Kirk himself. Um, Obviously, since he was the only one shot. And there's um, a lot of politicians right now are coming out and speaking against it. Specifically, Gavin Newsom, Governor Newsom of California, is speaking out against it, saying the attack on Charlie Kirk is disgusting, vile, and reprehensible. In the United States of America, we must reject political violence in every form. And he's right. We should want to reject political violence in every form. And that's what we are doing right now. Is we do not want Charlie Kirk to die. The shooter should not be demonized because demonization is the tool of the oppressor and is the tool of the white nationalist, Christo-fascist agenda to demonize and otherize people, because as you demonize and otherize people more and more, it becomes easier and easier to shoot them. It becomes easier and easier to drop bombs on them. It becomes easier and easier to say, oh, we can put them in a camp and watch them die. Don't demonize these people. We need to stop demonizing them. We need to be reaching out and showing as much empathy as we can to those we can save and pulling away from those we can't when it's needed, but the we give them the care that they need. We give them the care and the love and the energy. And I fucking hate Charlie Kirk. Fucking hate Charlie Kirk. He is a Christo-fascist. He is a white nationalist. He is hateful and he's a shitty person, but he was shot for probably a politically motivated reason, be it from somebody who is on the right who is trying to spark something, or from somebody on the left who's trying to spark something, or somebody somewhere trying to spark something, because that's what it is. This is an inflammatory action to spark something in the US while Russia invades Poland and distracts us from being able to act as part of the NATO alliance. This is all connected. If you do not think, oh, it was in Utah on Wednesday, Orem, Utah. I thought so. Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah.
you know,
Um,
there's apparently somebody said that there's a video on TikTok of him getting shot. I don't have. I'm
not
going
going to
to
put it up.
TikTok. I'm going to be on my phone, which is what I'm using to shoot this right now. I can't pull it up on my iPad, but if you find
Yeah.
that, I'd be interested in seeing that. Not because I believe in gore porn, but just I would like to be able to analyze that myself. Not that
Yeah.
I'm an expert marksman or anything, but I would like to be able to see what happens so that I can form a better
Yeah.
opinion about that.
Yeah.
But
And this is a
again,
very, just also too, this is a very conservative area. This is, if we want to talk geopolitics about what's going on, because we have to, this was right outside Provo, Utah, which is the heart of Mormonism, the heart of the um, Latter-day Saints churches in Provo and Salt Lake City, Utahs. Like that area is the heart of Mormonism. And that's where he was shot, Utah Valley University, right outside Provo, Utah, in Orem, Utah. We reported earlier that it sounded like Minnesota. We're correcting ourselves and making sure that everybody has the right information. Is Charlie Kirk was shot at a campus event in Utah, in Orem University, outside of Provo, Utah. He, as of this reporting, is still alive. The shooter has been apprehended. And it was from somebody in the chat saying, and I haven't seen too many confirmations of who the shooter was that it was an elderly gentleman. Whatever that means, I don't care about the shooter. I don't ever talk about the shooters during events because we shouldn't care about the shooters themselves. We should, other than the motive behind the shooting and why it happened, we shouldn't need their names or anything else like that. It's fetishization of shooters and killings and mass updates. And it's horrendous and we shouldn't do that. Um, and we should be very careful about things like that. So that we don't spark things because violence sparks from either direction. And people get really mad sometimes really quick on either direction. And we do not want to be a part of that. Peacefully and patriotically until the end, until we have no other choice. And there's still plenty of other choices. Charlie Kirk was shot. He is a piece of shit. He is a shithead. He's terrible. He preaches horrible, despicable, vile things, and at the same time, politically motivated attacks should be condemned universally in this country. Because if we don't condemn them universally, then they become commonplace again. We don't want assassination attempts. We don't want people shooting at each other. We don't want the US government shooting at government officials in blue states. We don't want red states and blue states shooting at each other because that means people die and we fucking don't want that. So we need to do right now is to maintain our cools and maintain our calm and monitor the situation and make sure that if somebody, and we don't know if it was politically motivated, he was shot in one of the most conservative areas in this country. He was shot outside Provo, Utah. So it like just just saying.
Yeah.
It was maybe it wasn't politically motivated, but even so, we still need to talk about the politics around it because the other side is going to make it politically motivated in some way. And that's not okay. And so Charlie Kirk is a piece of shit that I hope stays alive.
Yeah, he needs to stay alive to be able to answer for all the things that he's doing right now with the American
Yeah.
people. And I, politically motivated or not, politically is how it will be taken. Um,
Yes.
and that is my issue with this is that if there's always two parts to, and I've got to go here in just a second because I just
Yeah.
had the unloaded for our previous podcast, but politically motivated or not, there's always two sides, not sides, two aspects at a minimum to incidents like this, which is that there's the intent of the shooter, which is not always made clear. It's not always a manifesto. It's not always a creed. And there's how it will be taken by the rational person. And then I'll add a third side, which is how it will be spun. And that is so politically motivated or not, politically is how it will be taken because you better believe that those on that side of the aisle are going to use that to take advantage of pushing a point. Those on this side
Yes.
of the aisle are going to use that to push points, although I tend to usually agree with that point, by and large, not always. And it's going to be divided down the middle. And that's my problem with this is that anytime this happens, no matter what the intent of the shooter, no matter what the intent of anybody who may or may not have been behind the stage attempt is, once the cat's out of the bag, the cat's out of the bag, and people are going to take this and run with it. And the last thing we need right now is for people to take this and run with it. So,
Yes.
not to be vague, it's just shit like this does not end well for anybody. Shit like this will be used to the benefit of whoever can spin it the best, and history won't forget the rest. So,
Yep. Yep. And to be frank, this is what we're doing. We're helping you guys all spin this because it needs to be spun in a way that is not about violence and not about promoting violence and not about adding to violence. Is we need to be encouraging everyone to, if you pray for him. Like pray for this dude for once if you pray. Um, if you don't pray, send a little bit of positive energy that he does not die because we don't want Charlie Kirk to die. He's a despicable, garbage human being who deserves fate that is accountability and not this. This is not accountability. He does not get accountability for his actions and for the harm that he has caused other people if he dies like this because somebody just shot him. That's not accountability. That's him getting a free pass, basically, from the accountability of what comes next, of what comes after this. And I'm not going to be upset about saying that because accountability needs to happen, and these people are vile and vicious human beings, and accountability does not happen by Charlie Kirk getting shot and dying. And and the victim is Charlie Kirk. Only person. The other person is the shooter. They have not released any information on the shooter other than that they have been apprehended, and it was an elderly gentleman and
Correct.
screaming about their rights to have been freedoms or something, which, okay, like you have your rights and your freedoms, but you do not have the right to just go out and shoot people.
Correct. And the last thing I'll say before I have to head out is you and I were both military. We know there's a time and a place for somebody to just leave this mortal coil with assistance. And I'm trying to avoid using words that'll get your podcast, blocked, or when I inevitably repost this later, get blocked. But there is a time and a place for people to be assisted off this mortal coil, and that is when they are somebody who is known for nothing but violence, and they are an immediate threat to the continued lives of other people. That is not what this is. And this is a leader who is influencing action. I use the term leader loosely. Technically, he is a leader, even if he's a leader I don't like. Those type of people, who influence policy, those type of people who are putting forth ideas and agendas and ideals need to live long enough to answer for their crimes and do not need to be assisted off this moral coil. On that note, I do have to go ahead and get off. I got to get ready to go train a client. But I will hear back on later. This might be a day where I jump back on and talk. So
Sounds
we'll stay
great.
updated about that. And so, yeah.
Sounds good. And there's supposed to be an event tonight, the FAFO 50 event at 7:30 Eastern that everyone should attend. I'm hoping that still happens. It's a virtual event and I think in-person event as well. So I'm hoping it still happens, but we'll see with after what happened today with Charlie Kirk. Um, and so we'll keep apprised on that, but I'm not going anywhere right now. Jacob, thank you for joining me. I'll let you drop. And for everyone who's here, we're going to keep talking about this for a little bit. I'm going to see if I can get Lawrence Winterman or Fred Pogan with me or some of the other Banner and Backbone contributors. And we're going to keep talking about this because it's important. And making sure that we spread the ideal of not promoting violence peacefully and patriotically until the end, until we have no other choice, because we have to be the ones who change it. We're breaking the cycle of violence. So let's break the cycle of violence. That doesn't mean not accountability. That just doesn't mean that just means I don't want to shoot my neighbor. So, Jake, with that, I'll let you go, brother. And you have a good afternoon for now. And I'll talk to you again when you come back. And I'll be around all afternoon. So just ping me if you want to come back on, because there's going to be a lot to talk about, I think. So I'm going to kick Jacob off. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. And let's see if we can get Lawrence on with us. I'll reach out to Lawrence first. And then I'm going to see also, I want to see about getting, if she's available, is maybe Melissa Corrigan in here with us also, because she is another veteran, very level head, and can say a lot about this. So I was talking with her this morning, with Tim Whitaker, who knows Charlie Kirk and has met him, and I would assume, and from my conversation this morning, would also say something similar is if you pray for Charlie Kirk, pray that he survives this, because we don't want violence. We want to break the cycle of violence, because if we can break it peacefully, if we can break down the hate that they actually are consumed by and replace it with something that's positive and replace it with something that they would come to and be a part of and want to live in. It's not about forgiving or forget. It's not about forgetting the actions. Accountability is a thing. Accountability will happen. But we also need to remember that people like people deserve to live too. Like I don't want people to die. I'm a veteran. I've been to a war zone. I went to Afghanistan. I have been maybe the last person to like talk to somebody before. Like that's I live with the idea that I may be the last person that has spoken to somebody at some point and before they were taken out and killed as part of the war. Um, and like that will come to America if we allow it to. There's not a coincidence that this happened right after Russia provoked and did an intentional incursion into NATO airspace in Poland last night. There is not a coincidence that these two events are happening so closely. There's not a coincidence that they're happening right after the Epstein files were released. Yes, Peter, Charlie Kirk was shot in Orem, Utah, right outside the Provo area near Salt Lake City um, at a Turning Point event on part of his American comeback tour or whatever crap it is. He was shot at an event. He was the only person shot. It was a single shot fired. This person knew what they were doing. They were targeting Charlie Kirk. Don't know anything else about the shooter. Don't care. Charlie Kirk was shot. We do not want him to die. Not a fan of, not a fan of violence, and it is not good. It is not a good thing that this happened. This is going to provoke additional fear and hate and violence because violence begets violence begets violence begets violence. That's how it goes. Martin Luther King Jr. told us about that. Violence begets violence. Hate begets hate. We need to be better than the hate. It's not about going high, going low. I hate these people. If you listen to my show with um, Waj just a little while ago, I wasn't very nice to these fuckheads. I'm not nice to Christofascists. I'm not nice to Nazis. I'm not nice to the people trying to destroy my country and the place that I loved and the place that you all live in, that we all share together and should want to have a community out of. I don't want them to destroy that shit. I hate them for it. But I don't want them to die. I want to have a discourse so that we can change their minds so that maybe they can come back and become people again. And if they don't want to do that, they need to get out of our society and do something else somewhere else. The problem is Charlie Kirk was just shot. And yesterday, Russia attempted to, not accidentally, they did an intentional incursion. That is what NATO has ruled it as, is an intentional incursion of NATO's airspace in Poland a day and a half ahead of a very, very aggressive, coordinated war game event being held on the Polish border with the Russian and Belarusian armies. This often can be used as a prelude to an invasion. We need to be very careful of that because they're trying to destabilize the US at the same time as destabilize NATO itself. That attempt is going to polarize the US even further. We must stand with our allies boldly, proudly, and openly. We must stand with our true allies, our NATO allies, and our friends and partners who we have helped build a better world with. Welcome, Lawrence. Thank you for being able to join me. I'm glad you're here. Charlie Kirk was shot, and I'm trying to help the people in our audience react to this, stay calm, know the information that's coming out, and understand that we do not want him to die from this event, and we need to work to heal and not blame people, not come out with news. If you hear articles come out, validate and verify before you start spamming shit. But welcome, Lawrence. How are you doing, brother?
Well, I'm doing well. It's been a hectic afternoon, and I have to admit that I don't particularly know anything. Right, like this
Yeah.
was surprising news to me when you invited me to this live. Um, Yeah, I'm just looking online to see kind of what the latest is from from respectable sources. I'm looking at NBC News, and I'm just seeing that he is in the hospital, and there are a lot of expressions of prayer
Yep.
that he that he's okay. It sounds like it was serious. One thing that I just read said that it was apparently a bullet struck him in the neck, which is of course horrifying and incredibly scary in terms of
Those
the
can often be
seriousness.
fatal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the arteries and veins in the neck and it being such a delicate part of the body, it's terrifying. And we should all sincerely hope that he makes it and that he is as unharmed as possible through an experience like this.
Yeah. And I don't know much more than you other than what I've been reading too. I've been reading the local news, KVUE ABC, which is a local channel. I've been doing NBC, BBC, and the AP newsroom. So you all know where we're getting our sources from and where we're getting our information, so you know too. Charlie Kirk is hospitalized. We don't know if he's going to make it or not. Please send whatever modicum of prayer you can, or thought, or energy towards him that he does make it. Because we all value the sanctity of human life here. We value the decency and sanctity of human life. And I'd be a hypocrite if I wanted him to die in that way. Yeah, there are folks that I think could be ushered along quicker at times. But I don't ever actively want it to really happen, because
Right.
that's like,
And
unless it's through accountability, and this is not accountability.
right. I think that's I think focusing on the important point there, which is, you know, whether or not somebody is guilty of being complicit in the rise of authoritarianism in this country. And there are many people who are complicit in that. Those people should be dealt with through a legal system that works and
Hmm.
and through justice, right? And this is not justice. This is not the way that a civilized society handles its issues.
No.
Uh, I've got a quote here from from NBC,
Yeah.
from an eyewitness. So a gentleman named Justin Hickens, who was 20 yards away from the shooting, said, quote, "We heard a big loud shot. I saw a bunch of blood come out of Charlie. I saw his body kind of kick back and go limp, and everybody dropped to the ground," unquote, Hickens said.
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely terrifying, and it sounds beyond serious. A gunshot wound to the neck with kind of an explosive volume of blood is obviously,
Can be fatal. Can be
yeah,
very quickly fatal. Like neck wounds, like somebody said, it was neck to heart. It's a start. Like, that's poetic, and that's how your blood starts moving, is from neck to heart or heart to neck. And that can and will kill you. Like, those are some of the most serious of wounds. If you go to war, like if you're in a combat zone and you're shot in the neck, that's the most serious event, other than being shot like in the spleen and having your guts falling out on you. Like, the rest of your body is protected, but your neck is exposed, and that's a dangerous spot. And I we need to keep everybody from jumping to conclusions
right,
larger than us. Is the thing, is if you know people, and if you hear people jumping to conclusions in your family too, immediately go, yeah, I'm praying for Charlie, or I hope he makes it through. Be a decent human being.
right,
Show humanity, because if you show humanity, you'll be surprised at how often humanity comes back and gets shown back to you. Show an outpouring of humanity. Like, do the unexpected thing of us and show an outpouring of humanity. God, I would hate for Charlie Kirk to be the reason we collectively came together and healed in a way outside of Epstein. But fucking just hope he doesn't die. Like, if you like
right.
something, like, just hope for now, because like that for now, because that is not accountability. To me, also, this is the chicken shit coward's way for him to go out. Like, fuck that. Fuck him. He does not get to go out this easy in life and usher in the end of our democracy and the tearing down of the country I live in and care about the most and fought and served for and have had generations of my family fight and serve for and be a part of. Fuck him. He does not to get to die this way, a cheap, easy death that does not leave him accountable for his actions.
Well, and I think Millicent said something really important in the chat just now, and other people may have said this. I'm sorry, I'm just joining and I just saw this comment. But, he's got a wife and 2 kids, right? And something for us, all to bear in mind as humans is
Their dad will be taken from them if he
kids are
dies.
innocent. Speaking as somebody who lost his dad at a young age, that's a particular kind of trauma that none of us should wish on anybody. And and this is not, as Nick, as you've been saying, it's not accountability and political violence like this. Assassination is not the answer. It behooves us all to wish for him to recover fully, and to continue to peacefully resist and push back for the overthrow of the authoritarian regime that is taking shape in this country. This is not the way to do it.
No, this is not. This is not how we save America and restore America and begin restoring integrity, service, and ethics. Nothing about what happened today screams integrity to me. Nothing about what happens today screams service or ethical in any way, shape, or form. We need to start reminding ourselves of what actual ideals are and what we want in a country. Like, we've given up on ourselves as a nation. Let's fucking not. Ooh, Fred joined. Let's not give up on ourselves as a nation. Be a little nationalistic. It's okay. It's okay to have a little bit of patriotism and remember that you're in a place that cares about you. I reread The Citizen's Oath with Jacob earlier while I was on his show before I got the news of this happening because it was so important to say. Because with service comes responsibility. And that responsibility is to the Constitution and upholding our values. And those values are sanctity of life and dignity. And Charlie Kirk does not deserve to go out the easy way and not be held accountable for his fucking actions. This is me raging, sending all my rage towards him that he lives so that he can be held accountable for actions that he has taken to hurt my family and other families in this great country. Like, have some pride in ourselves again.
Yeah, I agree with you, friend. And can I just kindly suggest that maybe we don't say easy way, death by a gunshot wound to the knee.
You're right. You're right. It is not the easy way. It's a very painful and very unfortunate way if he were to go. And I'm just really angry, and I agree. Words mean things.
Fully
This is not an
anger,
easy
right?
way out. Yeah, no, this is not an easy way out. He will still die a painful death. It is not the correct way for him to go. He deserves accountability for his actions
and let's
through
not
a legal system.
Right? Right now, all we should be focused on is a full and complete recovery.
I hope he lives. I hope he lives. That said, thoughts and prayers don't fucking work. Fred, with that, what do you think? Welcome, brother. Thoughts and prayers.
I'll be honest, man. I'll keep it 100. It's like I'm not gonna revel in anyone's death, except for maybe one guy. Except for one guy, maybe. But
I can guess who.
No, yeah, it's not. Yeah, if you've read any of our pieces, it's not hard to guess. The thing is, if I'm being if I'm being honest, man, it's hard for me to summon up any form of compassion for this guy. I'll just keep it real. This is gonna be the struggle, right? Because I agree with everything you're saying, Nick, and I agree with everything Lawrence has said. We have these principles. That's the whole reason we're writing Banner and Backbone. That's the whole reason we're doing what we're doing. And my emotional side is like, fuck them,
Mhm.
but we can't go down this rabbit hole.
Right.
No.
We can't.
Violence beget violence.
I mean, it's we can't go down this rabbit hole. And it's interesting because like I put up a post where I reference Galatians 6:7. I just took the God part out of it, which is, be not deceived, for what a man sows, he shall also reap. Right? That's Galatians 6:7. And I put a picture of Charlie Kirk, and then I saw Cliff Schecter's post where he was like, "Nah, we need to turn temperature down because he listed all the Democrats we've lost to violence."
Yeah.
And this is now it's part of this cycle where it's starting to go over. And I said, damn, man, I got to delete my post, man. Because it's like, and I'm saying this because if you're struggling with this, to see the humanity in a very awful human being, a horrible man, one who has done harm to marginalized people, to communities, to our country, I'm there with you, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh man, he's a father, he's this, he's that." I'm not there. I'm not there because right now it's like I'm enraged because I have to summon up sympathy and I have to summon up compassion for this fool who has zero compassion for the people he's hurt.
Yeah.
Didn't care.
Yes.
And who has made my country, our country, worse. And yet I have to take the high road now. But you know what? We have to take it. We
And
have
it's
to
not the
take it.
high road, though. It's not the high road. It's the moral road.
Right.
The high road, there's a difference. It's the moral and the ethical road to want him to live. I want him to live because I value the decency and sanctity of human beings. I have no emotional want for this man to live. I don't give a flying fuck about Charlie Kirk. I want him to live because I care about humans living, people having the right to live and not be murdered by guns and not be murdered while giving a speech that somebody disagrees with. Because you do have the right to speak in this country, and that is a sanctity that we should be valuing up until it promotes violence. And
here's the
his
thing,
speech has promoted violence. So his speech should have ended a long time ago. But he is speaking, and what he was saying today wasn't specifically promoting violence. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't listen to the speech. All I know is that he was shot while speaking in a country where the First Amendment is that you have the right to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I know that he's a hateful man, right? I'm gay, I'm Jewish. I know that Charlie Kirk is not my friend, but I want him to live. I want him to be okay. I want him to have a full recovery. I see the humanity in him. I'm sure at some level he is just an angry little boy who didn't get the love and affection that he needed as a kid. I don't want him to die. I can say that with all sincerity and human love, right?
That's why you always a better man than me, brother. You always a better man
I
than
don't
me.
think it's about being better. I just think, like you guys have said, we cannot go down the road of being a country where voices are silenced through a weapon. And I will say that though people often say in moments like this, it is not the time to be political about gun control. It is absolutely 100%,
1,000%
the moment for us to be political about gun control. Because
Right
if
fucking now,
guns are
too.
going to silence voices across the political spectrum, it is a problem. It is a massive problem, and we need to amend the Second Amendment. We need to pass sensical, common sense gun control legislation in this country, and we should not shy away from this. We can do two things at once. Both of them are hard and complicated. One is rooting for Charlie Kirk to live and be fully healed, and the other is to pass common sense gun control legislation in this country. Those two things are exactly the same.
Yeah,
This is why.
and comments.
This is why I respect you, brother. Because honestly, man, I can hear the sincerity in your voice. And you know me, dude. I will never try to okey doke people. I will never try to run it. And it's like, I respect that you're there. I respect
Yeah,
that you
I mean
have.
it. I want him to
I know
live.
you do. I know you do. I don't. And here's the thing: is like all I feel right now is rage. All I
Yep.
feel right now is like I'm like, damn it. It's like it's like looking at somebody. It's like who was a major contributor to the problem, and they got caught up in it. And it's like, damn it, man. This is what we warned you about. This is what we've been fighting for, and you marginalized us, and you pushed us in a corner, and now you're there. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
infuriates me, man. It
It was the
infuriates me.
find out phase of the fuck around and find out part. And they're
Little
finding
kids in
out.
Sandy Hook should have been it. It should have
Little
been
kids,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Children should have been the
absolutely.
end of it, but we were so unwilling to amend our own constitution because we have been sold this idea that it is this sacred document that cannot change. Well, the first fucking thing they did to it was add 10 amendments. So get fuck conservatives. It's amendable. We need to amend it. And the first thing we should do is amend it so that the sanctity of life is guaranteed, which overrides your right to a fucking gun to shoot me with in the street. Like, you don't get to carry your AR-15 around or your pistol hidden in your concealed carry or in your open carry because, sorry, that doesn't make me feel safe. That does not make my children feel safe. It makes me feel threatened. It
Right.
makes me feel like you're a threat and that I should protect my kids from you. There is no good guy with a gun when bullets start flying
Nope.
because civilians always die.
Right.
Yep.
We've said this before. The Declaration tells us that we are all guaranteed certain inalienable rights, and those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And my contention is that with 450 million guns in this country, the things that we don't have with concealed carry and ubiquitous weapons of mass destruction, death being carried around, is life or liberty or the pursuit of happiness. I'm
Nope.
not truly free if I'm constantly worried that everywhere I'm going to go, I'm going to be gunned down in the street by some crazy person. I'm not truly enjoyed in the pursuits of happiness if I'm worried that my kids aren't going to come home from school tomorrow. Like, none of this comports with what we are supposed to be doing as a citizenry. We've got to fix the Constitution.
Yes.
Hey, guys, I got to drop. I'll come back, but I need to drop away for a couple minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Lawrence.
Thank you.
And Fred, I want to keep going on this as I get the rage and I get the hate because I feel no emotional attachment to this person or the event that's going on other than I feel rage at the dying and the breaking of a country that I love.
Yeah.
That a place that has provided for me my entire life, given me the opportunity to come on here and speak to everyone today. Like every single event in my life, no matter good or bad, at this point has led to the opportunity and the privilege that I have, as shitty as it says, is that like I'm a disabled veteran and I have the privilege of healthcare and access and to be able to come out and speak to you with an honest sensibility that I do not want Charlie Kirk to die because I don't want my nation to die. And
Yeah.
I do not want the dying of my nation to be because of Charlie Kirk. I don't want that to be the last thing that causes my nation to die. Is that bigot? Is that piece of trash human being? Fuck no. There are better men and better women and better others and better everywhere in between who have done so much more for this country, who deserve to be the one who get to end the country. Charlie Kirk does not get that honor or that label. He does not get to be the one that brings us to martial law. He does
No.
not get to be the one that gets the Insurrection Act opened up on us and the floodgates open. And he may very well be.
Maybe.
But
I
he
mean,
does not get to be the one in my mind because he doesn't he does not get out of the fate of his bigotry and hate. And I hate him too much for him to die right now. And that's all that's fueling me is I want him to live because I hate him so much, knowing that there's so much he needs to atone and account for in this life before he could ever be given forgiveness or or even move forward in his life. And if there is a God, he will live and atone for his sins for the rest of his fucking days.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe. I doubt it, but that's
yeah.
if I
No,
was religious,
and
that would be my prayer for tonight is
I
atone for your fucking sins, motherfucker, because you're seeing the light right now.
I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the sentiment. Like I'm not. I mean, the harsh reality is this, right? Is we don't know what's going to happen. It's up to fate now, right? It's up to a whole
Yeah.
lot of biological processes that.
It's up to
you
the
know,
doctors that they
Yeah, it's up. Well, it's up to whether his body quits or where it hit or did it nick the artery. There's all these
he's going to get a
things.
vaccine injected to him while he's there too. Like, sucks to fucking suck. Those are
Oh,
going to
he
save
already
his
probably
fucking
got it. He
life.
already probably got it.
Those
But
are going to
I mean,
save. Those might save his fucking life. Vaccines and medical doctors that they're vilifying and destroying. You can fucking die in a hole, RFK. You're one of the people I don't care about.
well, here's the thing is like, so the hard part is this is like it's if we really truly want to have justice, right? Then it has to be based on the rule of law. It has to be based on
Has to be.
quality and fairness. And so you have to check the kind of emotions that are welling up of anger and rage and retribution and those kind of things. There's a reason it talks about it in most major religions and talks about it in ethics and you know, it's it's a part of humanity, but it's part of the worst of us, you know. And so the thing is like with Charlie Kirk, he may very well die, right? He
Mhm.
may very well die and he never gets any kind of justice here. I don't know if that would spell the end of America or where this goes. Is like all I do know is this is like we have a choice in this moment on how we respond and
Mhm.
how we move forward and what we say. These are our principles and this is the society we live in, and we keep pushing for that.
Yep.
You
And we
know, because
demand
that's what matters.
dignity.
Like that's what matters. You
Yep.
know, whatever
What do
comes
we make
next,
out of this?
whatever happens, what matters is are these principles part of who we want to be as a people,
Yep.
right?
And what
And if they matter to you, then hang on to them, because even if it's hard right now, and even if it's like, man, I hate this guy, I want him to go down, right? You know, and the
but you
thing
know
is
what? If
yeah,
this collectively sparks the action for gun control and gun regulation, good. It needed to happen when children died, but good. I hope it does because the sanctity of life, and that's what we're talking about, is like what comes next is the politicization of this. Well, here's where I'm politicizing it. And I don't care which, and it doesn't matter which group picks this up, but somebody politicize this, please. Hopefully the Democrats pick this up and say this too,
yeah,
is demand gun reform to protect all Americans who are victims of assault by weaponry. There's a reason in the military we call them weapons, and you carry your weapon around with you, is because that's all they're meant for, is to kill people with. And if we value dignity and sanctity of life in this country, and we do value the ideals that Lawrence was talking about in our founding documents of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, well, then we should amend our laws and discuss those amendments, such as reasonable gun reforms, because guns are antithetical to human life.
Yeah. They're anti-human. They're anti-life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I mean,
So,
and the one thing the Charlie Kirk shooting illustrates is anybody can get got.
yeah.
There's no like it doesn't matter how many vests you wear, how many guns you have, all this stuff. If Charlie Kirk can get got, you like if the president can get shot at, whether it's fake or not, anybody can get got.
Yeah.
So the problem then becomes it's the guns. Oh, it's the mental health. Oh, it's the guns and the
It's the
access
The guns.
to firearms. It's the guns.
It's the guns.
Because we never used to have this problem.
No, not until we had the proliferation of guns and Bush ended the prohibition on assault rifles and weapons of war. Weapons, that's what they are. They're a weapon. When you carry around your M4 in the army, what I was issued when I went to Afghanistan, an M4, you take a couple
Yeah.
things off of it and it becomes a AR-15. You remove the 3-shot burst and you add a couple like barrel features so that you can do cool little mods on it, and it becomes a little toy to you because you think guns are toys. They're fucking weapons. And anyone in the military knows that. And
You know what
this is fucking unacceptable. It's
You know what
unacceptable.
a civilian variant of the 5.56 NATO ball round does to the human body that's
Shreds
unarmored?
it.
It's the trauma that you experience is it's you're done. That's why so many people die from that weapon is
I gotta
because
say,
if it hits you, it's over. Right?
Yeah.
I jumped away to take a call from my boyfriend, and he sent me the video of the actual strike
Yeah.
and blood.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
not like the movies, is it?
I don't know. And I'm honestly going to cry because I don't know how that's survivable. What I saw is traumatizing because I don't know how a human body survives that. And I could not see that and feel hate for him, but I also couldn't see it and not think about those little bodies at Sandy Hook, little 6-year-old bodies being similarly impacted by bullets like that. And the amount of blood that came out of that man's neck in seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know how a human body survives that. And I think the points that you're making about this being a weapon designed to kill people.
You're not meant to
murder
survive it.
humans,
It's meant to
it
kill
is-
your ass.
Yes, it is meant to be unsurvivable.
Yes.
How the fuck, as a society, can we exist in a world where we allow millions of these to just roam free in our country?
So Fred was about to say something about the NATO rounds. These
Yeah,
rounds
so,
that
like-
are used. Just Fred, you finish, and then if you haven't hit the point I'm going to hit, I'm going to carry on what you're saying.
So what most people don't understand, when you look at a bullet, right, and you see the little tip, the little lead round or what ceramic, whatever is, you think, oh, well, that goes in because you see the movies and you see a little hole, and that's not what happens, right? What you have to imagine is that bullet has this cone of kinetic energy around it, and it goes into your body, and basically once that kinetic energy stops and expands. And imagine your sternum, your rib cage turning into basically a fragmentation grenade as bones explode and shred organs and veins and muscle. That's why it's such a damn mess. That's why it's so freaking hard to come back from that. Lungs get perforated. Your heart gets perforated. Like it is that's why it's people when they get shot with that kind of a round from an M4, from an AR-15, and to your point, you take that from a human like a man my size, 6'5", 340 pounds, and you put it into a 7-8-year-old who's not even 60 pounds.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way you're blowing them in half. It's a mess. They're losing limbs. And that's the thing. If the public saw these photos and knew what these weapons would do, we would have gun reform. That's why you
Immediately.
put aside it.
Yeah. And what people also forget is not only do these weapons cause serious damage on the impact, what happens when the when the round hits you, when you are hit, it does not just immediately exit out the back. They move. Bullets move in your body and shred your body apart. You do not survive. Do
Nope.
not survive things that go into. Charlie Kirk, if he survives this, is lucky as hell, because that would have meant that he was not directly hit and it was a kinetic energy impact. But from what it sounds like is he was hit, which means that is
He
not,
was hit, Nick.
that
There's
is
no
something
way
that
he
is
was.
really, really hard to survive.
So that's the thing, is that if
A
it
gallon of
exited,
blood came out
yeah.
in the first second after
Oh
impact.
yeah, that's what
There's-
that's what the human body does. If he was hit
Yeah.
on his side with the artery,
He was.
ooh boy, then
I mean, I'm not a
Yeah.
doctor. I'm not a weapons expert, but I just saw the video.
yeah. So if he's hit on his
flagrant-
left side, if he was hit on his left, where your
He
artery
was.
is, yeah, then there's a good chance it's going to be tough for him to make it through. You can if you get there right away, but it's tough, man. I mean, it's
Morgan is asking how someone was able to get a firearm into this event because there were no metal detectors. I just read that.
Yeah, because they're Republicans. Because they never think anybody's going to do violence against them, right? Because they never think they're going to suffer from that kind of consequence. And here's the problem when you get an artery nicked, especially in your neck. What happens is when your adrenaline dumps because you've just suffered a massive amount of damage, your heart pumps faster. So it's pumping even more blood out of you because it's just your arteries. It's not pretty. It's just, I talked about this with the Poland thing last night, where it's like, everyone's like, oh, well, is this World War III? It's this. And it's like, 30,000 troops. And that's all numbers, man. You've got people that are living, mothers bringing their children to kindergarten, and drones are flying overhead, and they got to scoop them up and haul their ass if they can make it to a subway before they get bombed.
Yeah.
None of this is pretty. None of it is pretty.
There's somebody in the chat right now named Lykios who is kind of reveling in the fact that he got hit. And, man, I do not agree. I think that is wrong fucking place, wrong time. I don't care that he's an asshole. I said this earlier. Maybe you just joined us. I am rooting for him to make it through and to be okay. He is a dad who's got 2 kids. He's a fucking human being. I think if we are going to try to save this country from the brink of fascism, we need to have empathy and compassion for our fellow humans, no matter how much we may disagree with what they say. Like
Yos, man, don't be a keyboard warrior. Don't posture with this horse shit. Don't act like you know shit about shit. Like, no, man. Like,
you can say sorry, not sorry, but like
blocky, not blocky,
bro.
Don't be a key. Don't do that. That's just
blocky, not blocky, because I don't want this.
Man,
is
we
not
don't need-
about. We don't need to be derailed by an idiot who's trying to activate hate and stir us into action and provoke violence. And that's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. Like,
Morgan, I just want to say thanks for calling out Lykios. Thanks for doing that in the chat. Appreciate that.
And this is the thing, man, is like, it's not up to me whether he lives or dies. That's going to happen all on its own. The only thing I can say is, what do we as a country take from this? Because look, man, whether he survives and he's held accountable, that is what it is. But damn it, let's try to can he be the last? Can we lessen it from here on out?
Right.
Yeah. Can we use this as a lesson and do something for once? Because the need for gun reform in this country is overwhelming. Everyone knows that. Everyone in this country knows that. It's like 80-something% approval rating for the need for gun reform and better gun control. Let's do it.
Right. You know what?
Let's call it. The Constitution only says what we
gun
says
reform bill, right? The Charlie Kirk gun reform
I'll
bill.
take it. I'll take it. I don't care.
I will make my representatives vote for that for days.
Yeah, I'll call my representative about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if Charlie Kirk is the spark for it, good. I don't want my kids to be threatened by guns. My kids are in schools. Like I live in a state where gun control isn't a thing. Like
I don't want kids to have to go through active shooter drills anymore. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know if Kevlar backpacks are a thing, but they probably are.
No, they
And
are.
I don't want them to have them.
Yeah.
Instead
No,
of
so
I don't
solving the
have
problem,
kids,
we
and I
made
don't want them to have them. I don't
yeah,
want to live in that country, man.
instead
And
of
we don't
solving the
have to.
problem, we made fucking body armor for kids. Instead of taking away the one thing that's actually the fucking problem, which are the guns, we
Right.
did everything around it, and we're like, oh, we're gonna arm teachers, we're gonna put armed guards at the schools, we're gonna do metal detectors, we're gonna
We're going to make
give
Kevlar
kids
backpacks.
backpacks with
Right.
Kevlar in them or see-through, and they can't do this. No, take the fucking guns away.
It's the guns, man.
Yeah.
It's the
Guns.
guns. It's the
Purple
guns.
Chick 1776 is saying, I don't think anyone thought that he was fatally shot. Purple Chick, I'm here to tell you that I just saw the video and that does not look good. Do not go watch that video if you want to feel okay about the state of the human race. It is not like the movies, Fred. You're right. It's worse. It's fucking worse.
Oh yeah, it's dude, it's horrific. Like it is just I mean, and here's the thing. I've never been to combat, but I've trained like it was back in the day when we've seen footage of, people shot, right? When I was in Explorer Post, they would show us active shooters, right? I've seen a guy like in a traffic stop, like from police camera. Cop pulled his weapon. It was a .357 at close range, hit the guy 3 times. Each bullet passed through, and the guy shot the police officer with a .22 in the armpit. It traveled around and nicked one of the valves to his heart. He bled out internally.
Yeah.
That's how crazy that stuff is.
Give an update this is from NBCnews.com. The latest update as of 2 minutes ago is that authorities do not have a suspect in custody, according to Utah Valley University. The school had previously said in an alert that police had a suspect detained. There was no security to get into the event, and the suspect apparently shot from a nearby building, roughly 200 feet away from where Kirk was sitting.
Whoa! So he sniped it.
It was a sniper shot.
Wow.
To the left side of his neck.
I'm trying to find the video of what happened because I think it's important to know.
So the way it was being described, I thought it was somebody in the crowd that just.
No, it initially. So what they were originally saying was that there was an elderly man who was detained as the suspect. It turns out that man was detained, but he's in fact not the shooter suspect. Yeah. So the latest as of like 3 minutes ago, according to NBCnews.com, is that there is not a suspect in custody. The shooting was done from a building 200 feet away.
Oh.
Wow. That means they didn't have a cordon. They didn't.
No, I'm quoting the same news site again. Despite the large crowd at Utah Valley University, witness Tyler McGettigan said he was surprised that he didn't have to pass any security to get in. The event required a ticket with a scannable code, but he said that he didn't need it to get into the amphitheater. Quote, I was expecting when I got here that I'd have to pass through some kind of security, but that just wasn't a thing. No one checked the barcode or the QR code. There was no checkpoint to get in. It was literally anyone could walk in if they wanted, end quote.
They may not catch this guy.
Right.
They may not catch him. I mean, holy hell.
Nick, I've got it if you want me to send it to you.
Oh yeah, Joe, yes.
I've seen the one from far, but I want to make sure I see if there's anything like good.
I gotta
useful out of it. Yeah.
I gotta jump.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hey, I appreciate y'all letting me come on.
Yeah. We're gonna jump here soon, y'all. Anyway, so Fred, take it away for a minute before you jump.
No, I mean, I love all the points raised here. Like this is one thing I always appreciate about you guys is your level heads and your perspective. Especially Lawrence, bro. You're like my freaking North Star of just compassion and goodwill, because Nick will tell you, he's like, man, I got that anger in me, bro. Like I just, I just try to channel it towards injustice, but that Southern Marine in me,
Yeah.
it's there. And so I have to pull
Well, I always
myself.
want you on my side, man.
Oh yeah. That's why I gotta pull myself
mine.
down. I gotta pull myself down, man. It's like I gotta pull myself back down to. That's why I'm going to yoga and meditation and Buddhism and all that stuff, man. Because it's like I gotta check that stuff. Because I don't. I mean, if I was standing there face to face with him and I saw the damage, I wouldn't feel. I know. In my like that guy who's popping off, Mr. Keyboard Warrior. I guarantee, if you were staring down at Charlie Kirk and you saw that damage, you ain't gonna be saying that because it's horrific.
Oh my God!
Nick just saw the video.
What?
Nick just saw the video.
No, it's bad. I'm not gonna watch it. I'll just, I don't need to see it. It's bad, isn't it? Where'd he get hit?
Yeah. Let's
Got hit right here.
So maybe
Right here,
not
less. No, it
hit the art. Did he
it
nick
is
it?
literally pouring out onto his
pouring
body.
out.
So yeah, I mean, if
Right.
it severed it and the adrenaline dump. Here's the thing, bro. Even if he survives, chances are he's not gonna be. He ain't going back to normal. That ain't. I mean, that's,
no.
Yeah.
Bro, if he survived that, he's a quadriplegic at best.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, that's the thing. If it nicks anything in the spine.
Well, I mean,
here's the thing: is like you pretty much hit in anywhere in this area.
Yeah. Pam, you asked why put yourself through watching is because we need to. People need to know exactly what it looks like when someone gets shot.
right.
It is not what the movies tell you. It is not what they show you. And God damn it, these fucking people need to see what happens when somebody gets shot because people are dying. And they didn't believe it when a kid got shot. They don't believe it. They can't fucking say this was fake. This was Charlie fucking Kirk who got shot in the neck.
And I get it. If there are people who don't want to watch and there are a couple people saying,
yeah, I'm not going to force you to watch.
That is A-okay. Like I would never judge anybody for that. I do think though, if you have the stomach, maybe trying to understand the magnitude.
Take a deep breath before you watch.
And pray to whatever God you believe in and try to understand the magnitude of what happens with these weapons of war, like these two veterans have been telling you about. And like my brother-in-law, a veteran who served in Iraq, told me about, like, these weapons and these bullets in particular, the NATO rounds, are designed to murder humans. They are designed to ping pong around inside of bodies and destroy. So that is what you can see in this video. It is so clearly a wound that would be very, very hard to survive.
Because these are what these people will tell you, and they do this all the time. Is they'll say, "Well, you can kill somebody with a knife." Yeah, but knives have other uses. Okay,
not from 200 yards away.
Here's
the
thing.
Crowd of people watching.
But here's the point. They can. Is like knives have other uses. Well, car could kill somebody. Car is not used for that. What is used for that is a fucking weapon. Is a firearm. That's its only purpose. It's not a tool to open a door or to freaking cut up a steak or to take you to work. It is there to kill people. That's it. Yes. That's its sole function. Yes. We should regulate that the way it for what it is. It is, and that's why it's like, damn it, we have to start treating it like that. Stop. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's mental illness. No, man, we're not regulating the things whose sole purpose is to kill people.
Yeah, that's it.
We regulate poison. We regulate dangerous goods. We regulate all these other things, but for some reason, not guns. Because some document has a comma in it, and we're like, well, I should be able to.
Right. And the framers' intent was that we should amend the Constitution when it became clear and necessary that it needed amendment. We have been tricked for 40 years into believing that the Constitution is inviolate and shouldn't be amended, and that is just not true. It is not contextually true for the time in which it was written and passed to replace the Articles of Confederation. It is not true over the 200 and some odd years that it has been in existence and the guiding document of this country. It has only been true since the mid-70s, since the Heritage Foundation and the Reagan Revolution convinced us that originalism was a real fucking thing. And
you good, Nick, man? You good, brother?
Yeah. Yeah.
You look like you're in that place, man. You all right?
I mean, I get it. I was too when I came back in here after just seeing it.
Yeah, I'm good. I am a parent, and there are other parents who are in our audience. There's 424 of us here right now. Like, there's an incredible amount of people right now listening with us and supporting our message and spreading our message that we need to not glorify violence and glorify the hate. I'm a parent, and I watched that video because I'm also a veteran, and I've seen, not from my own experience of shooting at people or shooting somebody, but I've seen the effects of war. I know what it does. I've also lost friends after war because of the other effects of war, because the only thing war is good for is destruction. I came back a worse human being when I got back from Afghanistan. I came back a worse father, a worse husband, a worse friend, because I came back enraged because it's all hate. That is exactly what war is. It's all about dehumanizing and propagandizing each other and making each other hate each other. And we're using weapons of war in our country to kill each other without ever considering the fact that that's what they are, because we've been convinced that they're not. And I'm sitting here as a parent with my two kids who went to school today, knowing that I live in a state where they don't regulate firearms in very good ways. And pretty much anyone can get them. And what happens if somebody walks into the school and shoots my kid? And I've seen videos of death before. I've seen, because in the army and military and your training, you watch shit. You know what it looks like when somebody dies in real life.
Yeah.
I watched it again and you saw my reaction, because it's important to see what human reactions look like to unjustified violence or unnecessary violence. Maybe not unjustified, but unnecessary violence.
Just don't go back to
unnecessary.
Don't go to that place, bro. Just don't go back to that place, bro.
And all of our friends, all of our kids are in danger because we unnecessarily allow weapons of war into our streets and into our schools and into our homes and into our lives, because they carry them around as Christmas card pictures. They fucking do political ads after shootings with fucking 50 cal rounds, which are meant to snipe people a mile away.
Yeah. Oh my God, you guys. This is the New York Times. Video posted on social media shows the moment Charlie Kirk was shot and the seconds leading to the incident. Kirk was being asked questions about mass shootings in America. Quote, "Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America in the last 10 years? A person asks. Counting or not counting gang violence, Kirk responds right before he is shot.
Be not deceived. For whatever a man sows, he shall also reap.
Do not allow their propaganda to propagandize you into hate. Do not allow their propaganda to propagandize you into hate. It is not a coincidence that a violent attack and radical attack in the United States happened the day after Russia did a purposeful incursion of drones into NATO airspace in Poland. It is not a coincidence that this happened not long after, not many hours after NATO declared Article 4, or Poland invoked Article 4 of the NATO treaty to, to, to get other leaders, to force other leaders to come to their aid and say, hey, we think we need help, not
Right.
activate troops. This is not
Right.
Article
Not
5.
Article
This is
5.
Article 4. Article 4 is, hey, we need y'all to be here right the fuck now because we got some planning to do. They invoked that. Poland invoked that. Russia has a war game on the Polish border with the Belarusian army tomorrow or tonight. Tomorrow is 9/11.
Yeah.
Do not tell me that it is coincidental that
Well,
all of this is happening right at
Nick,
9/11.
I love you, man. I am not sure if this speculation is correct. I mean,
No, but I'm not
it
saying
may be.
9/11 is the problem, but it's the other events that are leading up that are being escalated in order.
Because I love you,
Yeah,
I want you to be really careful about connecting dots where we don't know, based on current reporting, if dots
correct.
connect. It is, I get it. And man, my heart agrees with you. And my part of my brain wants to say preach to what you're saying. I just, please God, let that not be true. Like, don't let this man die, and don't let this be some kind of false flag event that is going to fuck this country up.
I have been calling a false flag event in this country for months. I have been talking about a false flag event in this country for months. Beginning of this week, they got rid of the safeties that prevented ICE from racially and ethnically profiling people. They started the war on Chicago and Boston today with ICE raids. There was an
Man,
attack
it is
on
not.
our.
It is.
I'm not saying they are connected, but as a prior intelligence professional, as someone who's worked in the tech field and has had to be very technically reasoned and sound in my logic to get to places, who does not believe in conspiracy theories, who does not believe that there is a conspiracy or a cabal. I believe that there is a truth behind what is going on between Russia and Donald Trump, and that there's a 10-minute meeting that happened in Alaska where no one knows what happened in. And then every time Epstein files get released, Russia attacks. Every time it happens, and they have been building to a false flag event in this country for months, and I'm afraid that is what's happening, and I don't want it to be true. Believe me, I do not want it to be true.
I think
emotions
are. I think emotions are running high. I think you guys you've seen some violence. I think take a breath. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's all leave from
take
this.
a breath. Take a breath.
Take
a breath. We'll see.
Because it's like
none of this speculation is not going to do anybody any good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. So just listen.
Yeah.
All I do know is this: we need gun reform.
Absolutely.
We need it now.
Whatever else comes, we'll deal with it.
Yeah. We will be working to sponsor the Charlie Kirk gun reform bill.
Sure.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. No, Michael. No. Michael, I don't give a fuck. God damn it. Whoever the fuck you are, you're blocked. I don't give a shit. We just talked about this for an hour and a half. No, we don't want Charlie Kirk dead.
I think that might be our cue.
I don't want my country to die. And this is our cue to step away from all of this and take our breaths, like Fred said, and I'm calming myself down, and we're all gonna breathe.
Yeah, let's
need to use our emotions and help each other through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you guys. So, I appreciate your insights so much. There's nobody I'd rather be talking to in this moment to kind of process what's going on. So thank both of you. Thank you for your service. as veterans to this country for providing your insight to us. It is so necessary.
Yeah. And we will come back probably tomorrow at some point. I know Lawrence and I will be on tomorrow anyway. So I will be keeping abreast if I hear of passing. We will say something. We might not come back live, but we will say something and make sure that we talk about it as quickly as possible because emotions are running high. So thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us. Breathe. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Fred. I needed this. Thank you, Jacob, for earlier too, for being in. We all needed this. Let's go fight to save our country.
Yep.
Let's not let this happen more. Thanks, everyone. Thanks
Thanks,
to the
guys.
nearly 500 of you who are here. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
And let's
Appreciate
do
y'all.
everything we can. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Bye, brothers.
Bye.